welcome to PostGrad Movies. I am Cool Guy, and I will be replacing Neil Patrick Harris as our announcer. As everyone knows, this is a subdivision of the NPR. We tend to focus on, as it says here, movies, and we hang out with someone called the Cognitive Gamer, who is on the other side of the line. Welcome, Cognitive Gamer.
Hello, thank you very much, Cool Guy. It's a real pleasure to be here.
Yes, I'm sure. Thank you very much for being here and endowing us with your movie knowledge. I take it that we have seen a couple of movies this week, and we will be discussing all of them. So it says here that in the beginning we tend to discuss the week. So how was your week, your 7 days of not podcast?
It was 6 days of not podcast.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, it's okay. I understand sometimes. You know, you just get caught up with the days of the week, and they kind of just bear down on you. But it's been good. Again, I've just been very busy working. My thesis is due on Friday. I have a project due tomorrow, and I have a 15-page paper due on Monday.
So when are you planning on killing yourself?
I was thinking this weekend to get out of the 15-page paper, but it's already pretty much done, so I might as well turn that in.
Yeah.
And then wait until after my final. That's in a week, and probably in the middle of that to cause a scene.
Oh, fair enough. Is it going to be a bloody death, or more of a people walk in and you're already hanging in the middle of the room?
That's a good question. I was thinking of rigging my laptop that I'll be doing statistics on so that knives would explode out into my face.
Just into your face, or do you seek to get the maximum amount of casualties?
No. Just me. I don't believe in that.
You just hate yourself.
Got dark really fast. Jesus Christ. No, I have. If anything, it'll wake me up to keep me alive during the final.
So you'll just have like a knife in your eye, and you'll be like, "This is the worst, but I gotta finish."
Yeah, that's the plan. This got super dark. No, I don't want to kill people. I don't want to kill myself. I'm actually feeling really prepared. So, but then again, I've been studying and working nonstop for 2 weeks. So and then I have another final after.
You know, it's finals week and all that stuff, basically.
Well, yeah, and it's just like everything kind of piled on at once.
Right.
And then a month, like my entire life was derailed from getting sick with the flu for like 2 weeks. So that's 2 weeks I could have been working, and then now it's kind of like, anyway.
All come crashing down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I've been working nonstop. I played some video games, which you can check out on PostGrad Games on YouTube.
That is true.
On the YouTube.
That is true.
You could follow me on Twitter at Cognitive Gamer. And all right, I think we're done.
I think we're done with the podcast.
I think we're good to go.
No, but really.
Oh. All right, everybody. I'll see you next week.
This was a short one, just like Cognitive Gamer's wiener. So.
Ooh, burn.
Wrecked.
Ooh, I haven't heard that one before. You haven't even seen my wiener.
Yeah.
I think you're like the one man on the face of the planet that hasn't seen my wiener.
I am.
That sounds awful. Like I'm some kind of gay man whore. That's not true.
You don't have to be. Oh yeah, actually, you do kind of. No, you can just be a really weird dude. Like when you get drunk, you're just one of those people that sheds his clothing. I know a couple of those.
That is not true, even a little bit. Maybe my shirt, maybe, but that's like
totally.
I think the shirts are okay because you're gonna see that anyway if we go swimming together. It's not like some secret that I'm hiding.
You hide a lot of secrets.
Like the gigantic chest tattoo I have of the Easter hawk with the head of Matt Damon.
It's funny that you mentioned Matt Damon because we'll be getting to him later.
What?
He's relevant? Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Oh
my week was obviously super super boring. But this week should be a lot more interesting. I might be going to a baseball game tonight.
Nice.
But it's like raining, so it's probably going to get canceled or postponed. And then I'm going to the regionals. I'm going to regionals for Yu-Gi-Oh!
Ooh.
So that's freaking sweet.
Okay, wait. What deck are you using?
Gurgia.
And what deck is Cynic using?
Probably Constellars.
Really? Is he gonna go for Constellars? Nice.
Constellars or Thunder Family. Which most of our audience just was like, what the fuck is that? So, yeah.
That seems to be mostly what our audience says about all of Cynic's masterful creations in his head.
That's true. No, so regionals will be super intriguing because we have to get there at 7 a.m.
What?
Like, registration's at 8.
What?
And I think it goes all day. I think it's like 9 rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh! Playing, which probably is close to 9 hours. So, like, registration opens at 8. I think you start dueling at 10, and I think it's not over until, like, 7 or 8 at night.
Holy crap.
Yeah. It's going to be a long flippin' day.
And when's that, Saturday?
Yep. So I'm packing Purell. I'm packing Axe body spray. I'm packing all the essentials.
Are you going to be like that guy that was on Reddit a while back where he went to a Magic the Gathering regional, I think it was, and he took pictures with all of the people whose butt cracks were showing? Like, he was always in the prayer pose, like half kneeled, praying towards the camera, all just solemn.
That's pretty great. I'm sure I'll see a lot of man crack. I'm sure I will even expose my own man crack.
You do that all the time.
I know I do. It's so much fun.
It's gross.
It's so much fun. There's some days I'm like, I don't want to wear a belt. I want to show this shit off.
Oh, man. Wow.
Yeah. It's really hairy, and, like, people know that.
Okay, so my week was...
You don't want to talk about my hairy butt anymore?
No.
Man, I really want... Should I wax it?
Have we upgraded from poop and fart jokes to...
No, and we never will!
Oh my god.
It will never, ever upgrade to that.
Anyway.
That was your week. Was it full of man crack?
No, it was not. So, let me see.
I keep asking my girlfriend if she would shave my ass, and it's just not happening.
What?
Because I'm not gonna do it, and I don't want to go pay somebody $50 to do it. I want to be smooth, you know? If I have a lot of tropical vacations and I'm gonna be sporting a Speedo, I want it to be smooth.
This is awful. So my week was, let me think. I mean, it was pretty decent. The biggest thing that I did was I worked with the group from that one class that I told you that I was taking, the coastal processes planification or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, I worked with that group because they were doing a group project, which was a debate on legislation. And basically, I read a bunch of one of these legislation things, and I made an animation for it, like a 40-second animation for it. So that turned out pretty cool. And then we debated on Monday, and...
Did you master debate?
Yes.
You get it? You get the joke?
Yes, I get it. See, I have two choices whenever you make a joke, okay?
Okay.
I have the option of laughing along with you, which will only make you go, ah ha ha, and then think of more jokes to say, or I can say nothing or just go like, oh my god, or Jesus, or God, another thing, you know, or something like
Sounds
that.
Like 3 options.
That this is all grouped into another option.
Okay.
And I can do that, which is go like, ugh, you know, that type of reaction. And then keep going, in which case you will feel dejected and you will never again make your crappy jokes. So
that's not true at all. That is totally not true.
That is my hope. My hope is that someday you will graduate from the crappy joke academy and you will never have to say it again.
Cool guy.
It's like when
you know Gremlins 2 is coming out this week.
God, oh my god.
It's not coming out this week, but I mean the news of it came out this week. The point is,
oh my god.
and you're totally leaving this in, my jokes are funny. People laugh at them. Just let them happen.
Do you
Let them
laugh
live.
at Cognitive Gamers jokes? If so, tell us on Facebook or email us at postgradentertainment@gmail.com.
Or twit us.
No, twit me.
No,
Not him.
twit me. Twit me and be like, you're such a comical genius. And your butt crack is like majesty.
I don't think they're going to say that. I think in the beginning they considered it. They were like, sure, I might twit him. But then after you said the butt crack thing, they were like, you know what? I have better things to do with my life.
I'm also quite loopy this week. So, I mean, I have essentially been running on coffee and nightmares for like 2 weeks now. So,
Right. Yeah.
So, how was your week? You debated.
Yeah.
Master debated. And
yeah, I debated. that was fun or whatever.
Yeah.
I debated. You laughed at your own jokes. It was a good week.
It's the same as every other fucking week. Understandable.
No, it felt nice because I could devote some time to that because I had a week in the future covered for games and PostGrad games. So like all the videos were done. It was nice.
Yeah. Are my videos done?
Huh?
What
are you talking about? Oh, right. So we watched movies.
What? Hold on. I was going to talk about... Did you get our friend's wedding invitation?
Are you referring to the friend that's getting married on July the 12th?
See.
I got the invitation. I mean, not the physical one, but he knew that, so he sent me an invitation just over, Facebook. He told me about it and all that jazz. And he said the actual invitation would be arriving later.
Are you bummed that you're not in the wedding?
In the wedding party?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, neither am I.
No, I mean, I'm not in
You lived with the guy for like a whole year by force, bud.
I did. No, he was awesome. He was a good roommate. I liked him.
Yeah. I'm just glad, I guess I'm invited. I'm glad it's in Fort Collins and not...
Wherever he lives?
Yeah, because it's like in the middle of butt crack nowhere, so...
Yeah.
It's such a small town. Do you remember what game they used to play?
Smash Brothers.
Where they would go out to a cornfield.
Oh my
God.
God.
Then they would pop like Ambien.
Right.
And then they would run in the corn. And then whoever got furthest and without falling asleep won.
That was such.
And then they would wake up the next morning in the corn.
That
had to be made up, right?
I don't know. So okay, people, I want to know if you, our dear audience, have ever heard of that game where you pop some sort of a sleeping pill or a muscle relaxant, and then you all line up on the side of a cornfield. You start running, and then whoever gets the farthest wins before passing out. If you've ever heard of that game, please let us know on Facebook.
Or if you've ever played that game.
Twitter or email, please. We would love to know, because as far as I'm aware, and I think as far as you're aware, he's the only person that has ever mentioned that type of game to us, I think.
And it's extremely stupid.
So. No, not even our other friend who lived really close to the Four Corners in a town of 5 other people. I mean, you would think that that's the only thing he would do.
Yeah, but that's not enough people to play.
Is it not enough? I think 5 people is enough people to play.
Yeah, but those people are probably, running their... What do you do in a town of 5 people?
Orgies.
That just becomes like a village, and like everybody has to like work together to survive.
Yeah, exactly. You get to know each other. Lots of really weird relationships form. They break. They get together. I mean, it's really weird.
Yeah, that is really weird.
But anyway, the point is, we had a chance to watch a movie, and we actually decided to do something different this week because, as everybody knows, when we said it last week, theaters suck this week, so we decided to watch a movie.
So the movie that we decided to watch this week was In Her Eyes.
In Your Eyes. Oh my God.
In whatever.
This is why I say the things.
I'm sorry that I don't have a sticky note in front of me. The movie we decided to watch this week is In Your Eyes.
Thank you.
Directed and written by Joss Whedon?
Nope.
Joss Whedon?
No. Written by Joss Whedon. Yep.
Are you sure he was? Who directed it then?
Bryn Hill.
I thought that was the first assistant director.
No. He was the director.
Okay.
And fun fact, okay? You want to know what movie Bryn Hill wrote?
Sure.
Battle of the Year.
What movie's that?
The really weird dance movie that was not a sequel and not it was like the 3D one where I think like they had the sweat that flew up or something at one point towards the camera from up down.
Are you talking about Step Up?
No, not Step Up. It's not Step Up, but it was 3D.
It sounds terrible.
He wrote a dance movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It may have been a good story. You don't know.
Oh, come on. On IMDb, In Your Eyes has a 7.0. On Rotten
How
Tomatoes,
many reviews, though?
it's got a 64% with no top critic score because they don't have enough. And on Metacritic, it doesn't have anything. So the point of this movie is the fact that it basically just showed up right now onto the internet, as we discussed last week.
Not illegally, it is through Vimeo. So you can go and watch this movie right now on Vimeo.com. You pay them $5 and you can rent the movie, which is pretty sweet because I kind of like this idea that these movies that are in the festival run can be watched by anybody right now.
I know, and for something as low as $5, that's great.
Yeah, it's way better. Sure, it's taking money away from the mouths of theaters, but at the same time, fuck theaters. So, sorry, screw theaters. I'll try to make it PG.
No, but I mean, you do have a point. These movies that are going in festivals, they tend to just do the festival run and then not go into wide release, So
unless they get amazing hype, something kind of like Safety Not Guaranteed or anything Wes Anderson.
Everything Wes Anderson does,
right? But I'm pretty sure that Wes Anderson's gotten so big he can just release a movie in theaters,
right?
But the point stands,
No, I completely agree. It's one of those things that's really nice to see, and I'm glad because it happens a lot where you get the Oscar-nominated movies or something like that, especially the short films and the documentaries sometimes. But this time around, they were almost all on Netflix, which was fantastic. But you usually get these films, including the foreign films, that you just can't find and you just can't watch, And you would like to. I mean, some of them sound really interesting and you would really, really like to see them. But the problem is you can't. Why? Because they're not immediately available somewhere. And I would like to see this type of method sort of get big. Like maybe YouTube or Vimeo have a rental thing where you can see any of the Oscar-nominated films that are not immediately streamable, which would be cool. That would be great.
So in short, welcome to our new segment, which is our Vimeo Video on Demand Movie of the Week.
What?
Not yet sponsored by Vimeo.
What? No, this is Welcome to Theater Sucked. So here's a movie sponsored by Vimeo. Not really. Okay.
Almost. Maybe.
Maybe?
Hey, Vimeo.
Hey, Vimeo.
Check it out.
Vimeo, how's it going?
You have some money, I think.
Right? Maybe?
Yeah, your website's nice.
Yeah, their website's nice, but their video player not so much. I mean, it totally is. Sponsor us.
I didn't have any troubles with their video player.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine was stuttering a little bit.
I think it's just your Puerto Rican internet.
Oh, man. Freaking third world
internet. I was
internet.
on the internet and watched that movie, and it was totally fine. So.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right.
All right, so anyway, this movie, you already saw who it's directed by. It's directed by Bryn Hill. It was written and executively produced by Joss Whedon.
That's what it was.
And it stars Zoe Kazan, Michael...
Which is like Zoe Deschanel, but
definitely.
not.
Yeah. Michael Stahl-David and Mark Feuerstein. So those are the main peeps that appeared in the movie.
Black parole officer.
No, I didn't have the parole officer. I mean, he was there, but I'm talking about the three main characters, which was the guy, the girl, and the girl's husband.
Right.
Yeah.
As you can already see from that description, you know what this movie's about.
It's a romantic comedy.
Not really?
It was a sci-fi romance. Sci-fi romance.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Yeah, let's do a one-sentence review, as we always do. And how about this? We will not talk spoilers as much as we can without saying the spoiler tag. And this is from now on in the podcast, just so you know. Go ahead.
A poor man's Her.
That's actually a really good way of putting it for this movie, at least.
Yeah, or I guess let me look at my notes here. Let me. It's an episode of maybe better off as an episode of Buffy and not a full movie.
Really? I don't know.
But still enjoyable. I don't know. I found it a little shallow.
So my one sentence review would be a little simplistic, but not being afraid of exploring a lot of different types of emotions.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's exactly what Joss Whedon with a I've never heard of this guy before.
With a D.
He doesn't make any movies that I love.
Right.
or TV shows.
Or any
that
canceled
air.
television series. All of his series have survived. It's great.
Yes. Yeah, they're still on.
Yeah,
right?
like Firefly
Yes.
and Dollhouse and Buffy. They're all still there. So go
Yeah.
on.
So, okay. So this movie is a sci-fi rom-com. It's about two people that have like this weird mental link with one another where they can feel what the other person's experiencing.
Yeah, they can feel the feelings like pain, anger, sadness, all that type of stuff. But they can also, if they concentrate really hard, see through the other person's eyes.
So,
which is
I
awesome.
have observations on this.
Okay.
Because like one of the main problems, like the main issues that people observe with this was that they're just talking to themselves and they're totally crazy. Couldn't they just wear a Bluetooth thing on their ear and that would totally solve everything? Like we see this every single day in our lives. Like how is this any different than wearing a Bluetooth headset and then Skyping?
Yeah, but the only problem is that they're talking all day. Day.
Which is the problem, especially for work and everything like that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's a problem for anything. Even if you were, like, just Skyping somebody all day, that's an issue. I get that. But, I mean, for as far as, like, the mental illness aspect of it, you could have just wore a Bluetooth headset. Or, but is this also, like, an observation of the future, what it'll be like with Google Glass? I mean, this is exactly like wearing Google Glass all the time. You see what that person's seeing. You can talk to them all day. They see what you're seeing. This movie would have been pretty awesome in like the 80s, but the fact that it's now was just kind of outdated almost. It feels almost outdated, which I feel like it would have been a perfect episode of Buffy.
Really?
Because for the time, like when Buffy was new in the 90s, that would have been a pretty awesome idea.
I still think it's a really fresh and a really original idea for a sci-fi.
Even after like the release of Her, like I feel it's almost like it's almost sad to say, but it's almost cliche.
Really?
Yeah. Like a movie kind of like this was just released last year and won tons of awards. On top of it, it seems outdated because there are so many outs to this, and it's the only difference between this and using Google Glass to talk with somebody all day is the fact that they can feel each other's emotions. And really, then you just go get a psychology degree, and that makes you an expert. So,
God damn it.
So it's kind of, I don't know. I felt like it would be a better episode of a show from the 90s.
See,
full-blown movie for today.
I don't think.
How do you relate to this? Unless you like, obviously, the relation would be, hey, you're actually like Skyping with that person, and that's kind of what this is like. You know what I'm trying to say? Like that's what Her did really well was that it felt like a long distance relationship almost.
It did.
But the person wasn't real. Well, in this one, it felt like a long distance relationship, but the person was real.
Well, in this one, it felt like they were two people that had found each other at the right moment when each other needed it. And they ended up becoming, best friends and eventually falling in love.
Right. Which I think is the best part of this entire movie. Was just the interaction. Like
it was great.
It's not like this weird story that they had or this weird ability. It was the human to human interaction. And I thought that was pretty good.
When they found out the whole thing of how it worked and what was going on, that first interaction was really great.
Yeah. And it was totally Joss Whedon, right? Like it was bleeding his style of writing and comedic style kind of sprinkled around the conversations of seriousness. Right. And that's what Joss Whedon does really, really well. But then again, like his writing is perfect for television. I don't think it's good for a movie.
Well, I mean, it worked in the Avengers.
Kind of, but Avengers again is like, obviously it's not real life. And I think that's why it worked. And the style fit perfectly with the other movies, which was Iron Man. And that's like the perfect Joss Whedon character. And there's some jokes in the Avengers. I'm just kind of like, ugh, I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I like the 3 episodes of Buffy I saw. And nice. I think I played the board game more so than I actually watched the show. The board game is pretty legit.
Yeah.
And I love Firefly.
Oh yeah, well everybody does.
Exactly, but I think these characters, they're not captains of a spaceship. They don't have superpowers. They're not part of a secret organization. They don't kill vampires. They're just normal people. So I feel like sometimes the style doesn't work because they're encountering very real problems.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean I can see that. Can we talk about the really really weird sex scene?
That was awesome. That was hot, man. That was hot. It was weird.
I was sitting there. I was like, whoa. Well,
That's how I felt.
that's her hand right now, and his hand. Nope, that doesn't make sense. They're in different places. Oh, but they're together because, oh god.
What would that mean? Spoilers. They have sex.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so what would it feel to her like she's like touching her own penis? Like, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? I was thinking about that, and I'm like, when they kiss, is it would the guy feel like he's just kissing himself? Like, would he feel his goatee? And that would be really unsettling, I feel.
I mean, think about it this way. If you concentrate hard enough, you basically are in the other person's world. You are the other person.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So how awkward would that be? Oh, and spoilers, they kiss. God damn it.
Well, I mean, what do you expect? But
yeah,
like,
but you know what I mean. I was thinking about all the awkward situations that would happen.
But the point is, she's not her when she's looking through him. You know, when she's concentrating enough, she's not her. Just like he's not him.
But they are.
No, he made that explicit. He said, "I was having fun being a girl." You know that right in the beginning.
Right, but he still hit like. I think he's still him. He can just experience everything. It's like having two personalities in one person, you know? So yes, he can feel everything that she's feeling, but he's still him at the same time.
Think of it more as like your imagination. Like you're still you, but you're imagining something insanely vividly, so you kind of like you forget or you just put it to the side.
I suppose. Either way, would it be weird if he was like kissing yourself? Or would that be like, I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be really weird.
Or even more so than kissing. Imagine like, whew, man,
that's weird. So, I think
exactly.
Okay. So I'm gonna go into spoilers on this bit. So in the end of the movie,
hoping at the end when they touched it, just like a nuclear explosion happened.
That's where I'm going actually. What did you think of the end? Like there were a couple moments there because in the end when he was like racing to find her or whatever. I was sitting there, like, kind of like my heart started pounding. I was like, "Oh no, what happens if he's actually crazy? What happens if she's crazy? What happens if the other person doesn't exist?
That would have been a way better ending."
But the thing is, the point was like you wondering whether or not the other person was real. And if you think about it, the most logical ending for that would have been that one of them wasn't real. That's what you would have been expecting. So it was nice to see that they were actually real. It made you actually really think.
Yeah, but you didn't think about that until the very end, when she's like in a psych ward, and then you're like, "Oh,
yeah."
wait,
well, that's the point.
But that would have been a perfect build-up. I don't know.
No.
Just like really awkward letdown of them just being like, "We're gonna run away to Canada because now we're felons." That's like
they were felons though.
Wait, I know, but it's like, where are you gonna go from now? You're both gonna go to jail and then experience each other getting shanked in prison. Have fun with that, like.
No, they're going to Canada. It's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. That's the whole part of it that kind of broke down for me, I guess.
Really?
Like that whole ending sequence, just so I don't know. It was like poorly made. I don't know.
How so?
He jumped through a car window and kicked somebody out of a car. That doesn't happen,
dude.
That was like really weird action, like forced into this rom-com.
He was already a criminal person.
Oh, that all it takes is an ability to open up locks?
It totally is.
No.
I can pick locks. I'm also a kung fu master.
No.
QED.
Shut up. Yeah, I can't pick locks. I've tried, but it's really hard. Also, I've never watched like a YouTube video on it, so.
Right.
But imagine, like, their power ultimately is pretty freaking useless.
Well, it is. That's it's not the point that they have a useful power.
I know.
The point is that they have this power that's never really explained, which is great, but they have this power that ends up bringing two people that really need it together, two people whose lives are in shambles in very different ways, two people who need to grow to something bigger than themselves and let themselves be free. They're both caged in a certain way.
Right. No, I completely agree. Like I said, the best part of this movie is like the human interaction, but I hated the way that it was filmed. Really? And yeah, I thought it looked like garbage. Like, I almost feel with this type of story, you have to go full hipster. and not like do this like weird pseudo Firefly episode, which it totally kind of felt like that.
Did
I
it?
think it totally felt like an episode of Buffy as far as film styles, as far as like dialogue. It felt like an episode of Buffy.
Well, dialogue I could see, but I mean, film style not necessarily. It was
I
filmed
think I found it very like almost jarringly TV-esque.
really.
Yeah. Like it was almost filmed at a higher frame per second, it almost felt like in some scenes. To make it feel just TV. You know what I'm trying to say? So I feel if this was a different director or a different cinematographer and just went full hipster on it and like just solely concentrated on the human to human interaction, I think it would have been a better film. Like I think the concept's interesting. Don't get me wrong. If you don't make fun of it with the Google Glass, I feel it could have been better.
It's true what you're saying with the Google Glass. I mean, that's as close to this type of thing as we've gotten right now. So
yeah, I don't know. I you know what I'm trying to say though?
I mean, ish. I did feel a little bit TV-esque, but I don't think that necessarily makes it a bad movie. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
What
I think it does.
what would you give it on IMDb and all that stuff? Would you agree with the IMDb rating? Would you like IMDb is 70% and Rotten Tomatoes is 64?
I'd probably give it around 55 to 60.
What? Really?
Yeah. I did not like it.
That low.
I did not like it at all.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Like I love the interaction and talking, but I'm like I can get the same type of this from an episode of Buffy. Like, and I've only seen 3 episodes for God's sake. Like, and it was just so blatantly obvious where the inspiration came from. Like, I would have more joy in watching an episode of Firefly than this movie. And I've seen Firefly once, so
You've had one Firefly. You've seen the Firefly.
I saw the series once.
Okay, so
Trying to rewatch it.
I would give it closer to like a 65. I think it's a good movie. I enjoyed it. I really like the premise.
I thought the premise was stupid and like almost rote, which is highly unfortunate. Like I said, this would have totally been an awesome movie 20, 30 years ago. Or 20 years ago when Buffy was at its prime.
So what you're saying is this movie would have been an awesome movie right next to Total Recall, the original.
No, that was like 30 years ago. So
you said 20, 30 years ago in the beginning.
Okay.
That's
this would have been an awesome movie next to like Speed or Die Hard.
You can't compare this movie to the epitome that is Keanu Reeves.
I'm just saying. Keanu Reeves would have been a perfect guy. Imagine him? Oh my god. If we were to recast this movie, who would you choose? I think Keanu Reeves would make a perfect dude. Like, man, I'm on parole. I'm a convict. I'm Keanu Reeves. I think he would have been perfect for that role.
What's going on?
Oh my god, I can see everything that you're experiencing.
You want me to touch myself?
Oh my god, the sex scene.
Okay.
Oh man.
Feels.
I can touch you. But yeah, I think Keanu Reeves would be perfect in that movie.
I do think.
You have to admit, he would be pretty awesome in that movie.
No, he wouldn't be.
Yes, he would.
No, he wouldn't.
Would you rather Nicolas Cage?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't rather any of those.
I think Keanu Reeves would be perfect in that role, since he was already in like 3 movies just like that movie. So he was in Johnny Mnemonic, he was in Matrix, and he was in the Mailbox. No, the Lake House.
There you go.
Yeah, the Mailbox.
The Mailbox. That's pretty much what the movie should have been called.
I know. So I mean, just smash all those together, and you kind of get in your eyes.
Really? Do you kind of get in your eyes? Because I would think you would get a post-apocalyptic world where you can only communicate via mailboxes.
So, what was that movie that had what's his face that would deliver? He was like the last mailman.
I have no idea.
It's kind of like I think was it called the Pony Express? It may have been the movie title.
Anyway, I wanted.
It was called The Postman.
I wanted to highlight the fact that in this movie, in your eyes, the person that was really standout was the girl. The girl's acting. I really enjoyed her. She was.
I thought it was kind of stupid at times. Like just bad.
Really?
Yeah.
I found her a really charming character.
Oh, I totally agree. She was a Zooey Deschanel clone, but yeah.
I mean, I don't think she was necessarily a Zooey Deschanel clone because she felt different. She felt a little bit like I think her name is not the actress's name, the character's name, Rachel from House of Cards. She felt a lot like Rachel, but also that's because she's physically similar to her. But
I wouldn't know. That's a series I'm going to watch this summer.
Nice.
I have a lot of plans for the summer, if you haven't noticed.
Yes. But I figured that she seemed like the most real character out of anyone in that story.
Yeah.
And then you have the typical...
Until the ending, when it was like, no, you can't, that's, what? Weird.
I liked it.
I think the setting needed to be different. Like, if it was the same story, but set in, like, the 70s or, like, in medieval times, that would be freaking awesome.
Well, but that takes a ton of budget. This is an independent film.
I know, but when, like, that movie in the medieval times, that'd be freaking sweet.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I felt like it's a cool movie, but it needed something more because it's almost, well, this is stupid because we have Google Glass. Like, we can do that now. Correct. We literally can do that now. This is not special in any way, shape, or form.
So what you're saying is that technology will kill sci-fi?
This type of sci-fi, yeah.
The problem is that it's not, as much as you want it to be, it's not Google Glass. You know, this is like them without any type of technology, without anything. This is just them with their bodies, and it just happens, you know. There's no explanation for it. There's no technology behind it. This is just them. It's a power.
I know. I get it. Still stupid.
All right, fine. So anyway, we're going to move on. I like that he didn't. It's cool. It's whatever. I don't care. I'm not bitter.
We gave almost the same score.
No, you said 55. That's a rotten.
55 to 60. There's not a huge difference between 60 and 65. Now it's there. Like, I think it might be worth a watch, like, especially if you love Joss Whedon. It'll be right up your alley.
I said 65 to 70. That is a big jump. I'm saying it's fresh. You're saying it's either rotten or just above rotten.
Slightly less rotten. Okay. All right, what's the next movie?
The next movie is Don Jon, which was our Netflix movie spotlight, totally not sponsored by Netflix yet. So this movie on IMDb has a 6.7 rating. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's got an 81 with an 83% top critic score. And on Metacritic, it's got a 66%. It is directed by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and it stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Scarlett Johansson, Julianne Moore, Tony Danza, Glenn Headley, and Brie Larson, among a ton of other people.
Did you say Julianne Moore?
Yes, Julianne Moore.
Okay. Did you say Tony Danza?
Yes, I did.
Awesome.
Sometimes I think you just don't listen to me.
You'd probably be correct.
Yeah. All right. So what is your one sentence review? Go.
How about you go first?
Okay. So my one sentence review is a movie that has a lot to say, but not a lot in the way of saying it.
You're going to have to explain that a little more, but I kind of agree. So my one sentence review is profound, but not subtle.
Yeah. Okay. Though, see, okay, if you want...
But some of those points are subtle.
They are, yeah.
And it switches back and forth from hitting you over the head with what it's trying to say.
With his beliefs.
Well, not only his beliefs, but like... So we know he wrote this, and then he's like a huge advocate for independent creativity.
Yes.
I mean, have you ever seen...
Hit record.
Hit record.
Yep.
On TV! Is that show canceled yet? Because I watched like 3 episodes and I really liked it, but I can't.
I have no idea.
Okay. Anyway, so he's a huge advocate for creativity and something that hasn't been touched yet by capitalism, by influences from, you know what I'm trying to say?
From everywhere. Yeah.
Exactly. And, I mean, the most explicit message is that these commercials that we watch, that these movies that we enjoy, that are, you know, directly influenced by big companies or whatever, is the same thing as porn.
Right.
And that porn is also corruptful.
Yeah.
And that's because it's just so rotten with...
Fake.
Yeah. It's fake. It's focus tested. It's aiming right for you. And sometimes it doesn't make for the best content. And I guess it's like when John is watching the commercial for the like new burger from, I think, Hardee's.
Right. That is just like a woman rubbing herself, and you're like, what does this have to do with burgers? Yeah, it's just porn, but with a burger in it. Exactly. It's going to make you buy that. I was half expecting the next scene was him eating that burger. Or his dad. Yeah. Or some, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's this, like, the whole story that pretty much even the trailer gave away, so I don't even know if I want to say spoilers, but the whole point is, like, Scarlett Johansson, his girlfriend,
watches rom-coms, which gives these like unrealistic
expectations
of what love and romance is.
So unrealistic. Oh my god.
And then you have it, of porn, which gives unrealistic expectations of what sex and what the physical side of a relationship should be.
Yeah.
And how it just can't work. Oh, I know what my one sentence review was going to be.
Okay.
A perverted 500 Days of Summer.
I could see that, actually. Yeah.
Like, it's the same movie up to a certain point. Like, they get together. It's like he's pining after her. Eventually, he gets to her. They break up. And then his sister comes in with advice.
Yeah.
It helps him get over it. And then he finds a new person.
Did you notice that the sister is the same as the big X from Scott Pilgrim?
Was she?
Yeah, she was.
Looked totally different.
She did, yeah.
Whoa. Okay, that's cool. So, totally not.
No, she should have looked at John, and she should have been like, "You should so totally come." Scott Pilgrim is a great movie. Go watch it. Anyway,
that was number one and our number out of the greatest movies of all time.
That was a quote from the movie. I wasn't just making that up. So anyway,
she punched the highlights out of her hair.
You cocky cock. Okay, so
sorry, this is about Don Jon, not our favorite movie.
Yes, this is about Don Jon. So how can I put it? I can put it as this movie, like, it was almost like a big deal. Like, everyone was talking about this movie when it first came out or when it was being in production, blah blah blah. They were just, talking a lot about it. And what is my reaction? Like, if I had to change my one sentence review, it would be, it was okay.
Really? I liked it a lot.
It was just so, I don't know. It was so repetitive.
That was the point.
No. Just hang on. Just bear with me. Okay. It was repetitive up until literally the end, when it should have been repetitive with small things changing slightly gradually, leading to a big change in the end. Because the change in the end felt really abrupt. Like, all that one person had to say was, "You just have to feel, John." It was so bad. Think about it.
I know, I get it, but it's like, okay, so the whole bath scene,
yes,
right? It's a coming of age story. It very much so is, and right. The whole bath scene is him leaving his old self in the past, and then right after that, you have the junk out of his hair, which she makes a comment about. You're a brand new person, and he experiences sex and making love for the first time. Like, that is where the change happened, and that's the only, like, time you see that. And then right after that, his entire life is different. The person who he was porn. It was completely fake.
Well, yeah. I mean,
it's a coming-of-age story. Like, I like...
Yes, but a coming-of-age story takes a while. It's not immediate.
Coming-of-age usually has one pivotal scene where they kind of have this epiphany and grow.
Yes, okay.
There are some that don't do that, and it is gradual. You're right, and it's a little more subtle. But this movie was highly explicit into where he changed.
Okay, yeah, no, I know that that's what that scene was supposed to be. But, and yes, coming of age stories do tend to have a one pivotal scene, but there are little changes that lead up to that pivotal scene. There are little things that happen that person does that lead to that pivotal scene and to that person.
It doesn't necessarily have to. It really doesn't. And there were small things like, he was starting to realize that his, like, ex-girlfriend was the worst, and he got over her, and he started growing up a little bit.
Did he get over her? He didn't get over her until after the pivotal scene.
I mean, he was starting to, right?
Yeah. No, because he was still saying the exact same things about her. He wasn't accepting the responsibility of his actions. The fact that he lied to her. It wasn't just the porn, it was the lying to her.
I think it was fine.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the movie was okay. The movie was fine.
I think the build up to it was done appropriately, and, like, I get it. The whole movie's saying, like, it's repetitive. This life, like, life is porn. Life is the same thing over and over again because porn doesn't change.
That's true.
And that
Game Road,
Jesus. and it's full of expectations and masks, and you have to really get down to who you really are to really experience life.
Right. Yeah.
And that was a little more subtle than the other message it was trying to say, which was, all media is essentially porn.
Yeah. And rom-coms are bad, and porn is bad, and all that jazz, and people are hypocrites. Like the idea of, going to church and repenting and all that stuff, and yet, yelling curse words all the way to church, and then yelling curse words after church with your family. It was the idea of a hypocritical society and all that jazz.
Right. And nothing changes, right?
Yeah.
And it's, that was the same with, church is the same every single week.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the readings are different, but it's the same ritual every single week.
Yeah.
So that his life was the same, and he experienced something different, which allowed him to see the cracks and to be happy.
Exactly.
Which was to break out of this routine. I don't know. I really liked it, so I'd probably give it about an 80%. I think it's on Netflix. You should watch it. Like, it's probably better than a lot of dribble on that website.
Well, it definitely is. But
Netflix is great, but there's a lot of crap on it.
It's also not a movie that you should watch if you want the people around you seeing a ton of porn.
Right. Unless you do want the people around you to watch a ton of porn. I mean, there was a lot of porn.
There was a lot. Yeah.
There's a lot.
And very zoomed in, cleverly disguised members of men. Just at the bottom of the widescreen bars.
Why is it okay to show, like, the naked top half of a woman, but not the bottom half of a man?
Or the bottom half of a woman, really?
Like, yeah, that's true.
You don't see that.
But is it, you also don't, I don't know, what's like a male equivalent to boobs?
There isn't one. The secondary sexual characteristics that develop for females are different than for males, so there is no equivalent in the male.
It's a weird society thing where it's like, boobs are okay.
No, boobs are great.
But everything else is
right, yeah.
You know what I mean, Like, in like the movie thing, it's like, oh, but if it shows nipple, it's almost like a whole new level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like a weird rating scale that somebody probably has to go and actually discuss this. Like, they showed boob, but not nipple, so it only gets like a 6 on the danger of watching scale.
Let's pump that into our Excel sheet. Yeah.
Like, that's a weird job. Anyway, all right. So Don Jon, I give it an 80.
Really? I don't know.
Really liked it.
I don't know.
I also am a huge fan of Joseph Levitt and his message and his movies. So, well,
I like the guy too. I just think that some of the directing was good. Some of the directing was a bit more sloppy at other points.
Oh my God, the scene where Scarlett Johansson catches him watch porn and it goes into it looked like it was on a tripod and then somebody lifted it off the tripod.
That's because it was.
That was so great.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Yeah, I love that scene.
Yeah, that worked really well. But then there were some points where it was shaky cam and then it would switch to just tripod. And it's like, that makes no sense. It was just, some of the directing was done really well. Some of the shots were framed really well. He was using some very normal techniques, like when something is wrong, the camera's slightly off, slightly tilted. It was stuff like that. Some good usage of camera and position and all that stuff and blocking. But there were other points where it was not so good. I don't know.
I thought it was fine.
So anyway, the point is that
what would you give it?
I would tend to skew more towards the IMDb and Metacritic. So IMDb is 6.7, Metacritic is 66, but I would not give it a 60 something percent. I'd go more 70, 75. It's okay, it's a good movie, but it's nothing special in my head. It's I
think it's
I don't know.
It's not, it's on the edge of being amazing.
Really? No.
I felt.
No way. Nowhere near that. I would say that it's on the edge between a decent movie that you'd watch, that's cool, that was a good movie, and mediocre. It's on that edge for me. Even though I agree with the message and all that blah blah blah.
As compared to where we gave Gravity 100% essentially. No, it's nowhere near that. That's why it's 20% lower. But I'm if this had a little bit more, I think this would have been just one of the best movies of 2013.
Really? A little bit more? No.
Compared to Captain Phillips, I think it's on that level.
I don't think so.
If it was a little bit better, it would have been on ranks with Captain Phillips, I think.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm not saying it'll win awards or anything, but I think it would be just as good.
I just think it was missing something substantial. It was missing that moment in a movie that something really hits you and you go, oh, you get it. That moment in a movie when you have a burst of emotions inside of you, whether that's good, whether that's bad, whether that's tears, laughter, joy. It was just missing that something. It was missing the Emerald Live bam, It was missing the spice to make
but
it
I think
good.
that would be too heavy-handed. Like, the whole movie is explicit and heavy-handed up in the beginning, but then the message that it's really trying to get at is subtle.
But
And I really like that. I don't know. I'd probably give it like a 78. Okay?
All right. Okay.
Like, right on that precipice.
Okay. I'm glad that I could argue you out of 2 percentage points.
Well, anyway, okay, let's move on.
Okay. Okay, so...
Well, it's like, I think I was a little uncomfortable with like 80 and with the point I was trying to say, because 80 would put it on level, so I'm like, it's right below that. It's right below that.
Okay. All right.
So,
fair enough.
78, 79.
Yeah. But yeah, again, you should watch it. If you are interested in this type of stuff, yeah, definitely watch it. And again, like,
I just want to watch porn.
Like I said, I agree with the message and all that jazz, but it just didn't do it for me. Ha. So
why are you allowed to make stupid jokes and then I don't complain about it because I'm just like, yo, man, that's cool. But anyway, all right, next point.
So yes, next point. New on DVD and Blu-ray and theaters. New on DVD and Blu-ray, we have Labor Day, The Legend of Hercules, Give Me Shelter, The Best Offer, Escape from Tomorrow, haha, Gloria, Il Sorpasso, Devil's Due, Bad Country, The Rocket, Dark Hearts, and The Selfish Giant. Devil's Due, didn't that movie just come out?
Came out in like January.
Okay. Was it January? I thought it was like last month.
It also received like terrible reviews, so.
Yeah, I was just wondering. But anyway, dude, Escape from Tomorrow.
I know, it's on DVD, but it's been on video on demand for like a year, so we could have watched it.
Oh, really? It's been on Netflix? What?
No, it's been on Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Not for free. Like, you can rent it for like $5.
Okay.
Yeah. Same scenario, yeah. But I do want to see Escape from Tomorrow.
And new to theaters, we have The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is going to be the one we're going to watch, obviously.
Is it really? I don't know.
Dude, yes.
That movie looks stupid.
Really? In my opinion, it looks better than the first one.
Yeah, but the first one, I watched it the first time and I was like, that was pretty okay. And then I watched it again and I'm like, this is really bad.
I mean, it was whatever. Again, to me, that movie was like Don Jon. It was like, okay.
No, okay, we're just gonna move on. Just no.
Actually, no, you're right. Don Jon was better than that movie.
Don't put your boxing gloves on. Just come on.
Okay, so anyway, other movies that are coming out, and these are all in limited release. We have Belle, Walk of Shame, Ida, and The Protector 2. All right, so anyway, moving on to our last segment, which is news. Our news come in two different ways.
Whoa, what are you, a cave? You just turned into a caveman.
Our news come in two different shapes and forms. We have the initial movie, which we'll be talking about, which is the DC Universe in Batman vs. Superman and Justice League and the whole lead up to it. So, first, we have that Batman vs. Superman is thought to have Cyborg in it. That's right, Cyborg. It is rumored that the actor Ray Fisher will be playing him, but that's obviously not known up till now. The important news, however, is the fact that the Justice League movie is being rumored to be directed by Zack Snyder, like everybody else. But, shut up. But the best part about the whole thing is the fact that Aquaman might be in it.
How's that news? That's stupid.
Shh. Just calm down. You ready for this? And do you know who might play Aquaman? Matt Damon.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Oh, Matt Damon?
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon is Aquaman. That
Matt
Damon.
Really
Matt Damon talks to fish.
This is obviously a very, very, very huge rumor, huge speculation. But I just had to include it because no one wanted to participate in our Matt Damon Day giveaway. So Matt Damon's going to be making a comeback in this podcast.
Wait, so does that mean Ben playing, Batman was kind of like, yo, Matt Damon, you should fucking come to the Justice League movie.
Aquaman!
But how awkward would that be if you just see both of them sitting next to each other, and it's Ben as Batman, and you have Matt as Aquaman, and they're just kind of like, yeah, what up? Like, that would be the most awkward thing ever. You know what movie I think they should make?
What?
They should make the SpongeBob SquarePants live action movie with all those superheroes.
That would be really funny.
Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, and then all the other adjunct superheroes that they used to have in their weird Justice League. That would be an awesome movie.
That would be hilarious. They had some really great superheroes and villains.
Yeah, exactly. I think that should be a movie.
What was it? The Man Ray? Man Ray?
Man Ray.
Yeah. He was hilarious.
Dirty Bubble. I'm the Dirty Bubble.
They did.
They did have. There was one more, but he was really old.
Yeah, he was Mermaid Man's nemesis.
Right.
Okay, so you know what I can't. You were talking about Batman. You know what I can't just get out of my head now that I think of Batman just like that is somebody else that's not the Dark Knight,
Right.
or at least that's not the Dark Knight, but not that Batman, that specific Batman.
Right.
Is that I watched Community and they had the episode with Batman and
where Abed
is Batman. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was hilarious. He was so good. He was so good. Like, I can say that without compunction. I can say that 100%. He was such a good Batman.
Like a funny Batman, and
Well, yeah, he was, but the thing is, like, he encapsulated, like...
Yeah, the Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight so well, and it was just so funny. When he showed up, and he was like, hello. I was like, oh my god. My sides. All right, but anyway, the actual big news that we're trying to get into here, at least, is the fact that Okay. So the Star Wars Episode VII.
Hold on, I'm gonna let you finish, but first I gotta say the best news story of the month has been Gremlins 2 has been announced.
So the Star Wars Episode VII cast was announced.
You're such an asshole.
Woo! And what do you think? Do you know who's the cast? Okay, wait, I'm gonna read you guys the cast first. So.
Guys, no. We have men and women in our audience, so please.
So guys, the cast is comprised of John Boyega, who is known from Attack the Block. If you haven't seen that movie is great. And he is I think he's a London-based actor, and he's also very good. He's got a very thick accent. I don't know if he put it on only for Attack the Block or if that's his normal accent, but that's cool. It was a great film. There's also Daisy Ridley, who is rumored to possibly be the daughter of Han and Leia. And you also have, Adam Driver, who's the guy from Girls that we were talking about earlier, who might have been cast. He was cast. You also have Oscar Isaac, who is Llewyn Davis from Inside Llewyn Davis, which was the recent movie that got nominated for stuff. And if you don't know him from Llewyn Davis, he was also in the movie Drive. Then you also have Andy Serkis, who was like the biggest surprise of them all. Like, Andy Serkis is a great actor, but you obviously know him from stuff like Gollum in all of the Lord of the Rings style of film and Caesar in Dawn and Rise of Planet of the Apes. So that is awesome. And it kind of makes you wonder what the heck is going on if Andy Serkis has been cast, you know?
He's probably going to play a droid or some crap.
Roger. So...
Exactly.
You also have Domhnall Gleeson, who is probably recognized, at least by everyone that has watched Harry Potter films, because he's the oldest Weasley twin, and he was also in a movie that I really enjoyed that I talked about earlier in the podcast in another episode in January. He was in About Time, so that was really cool, and that was a really enjoyable movie, at least in my opinion. And then you also have Max von Sydow, who is known from Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. And, I mean, he also has a lot of other movies, but that's his most recent one. And then we have The Returners, which is Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, Anthony Daniels, Peter Mayhew, and Kenny Baker, which, shivers. It's too much. You forgot to also mention, if you read the second report, a new slew of characters were also announced. It says here that Seth Rogen will be playing Chewbacca. Oh my god! It also says Mr. Bean will also be in the movie. It hasn't really been announced what role he will be yet. We also have Jonah Hill and Leonardo DiCaprio as the characters from Wolf on Wall Street in the Star Wars movie, so that's kind of weird, but whatever. I thought you were going to go with, like, Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum playing two police officers. No.
we have Michael Cera playing the son of Luke Skywalker. So that's pretty sweet.
Oh my god.
Uh,
Okay, we're done with this. This is an awful joke. So
we have Zac Efron,
Oh,
who
no.
was rumored to be in the new Star Wars movie.
right.
Right? He will also be in the film as the new Lando Calrissian.
Oh,
The son of Lando.
that's actually really funny.
Yeah.
I will give you that joke. That was good.
And we have Will Smith and his son, who play astronauts who crash land on
Naboo.
yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
And they have to
Anyway,
yeah.
how do you feel about the cast? The actual cast, not your made up stupid cast.
Well, Seth Rogen's gonna be an amazing Chewbacca, so I don't know.
Really?
Okay.
Or whatever. Let's get high. Like that's
Perfect. Let's get high. Yo, Han, how about we pull over to the Star Hut over there and get some pizzas? I'm not a very I can't do his voice.
Whoa! Why are we going to light speed, man?
I can just laugh, okay, but it's as close as I can get.
Oh my god! Is
Yo, man, let's smoke some joints. Oh, man.
Okay. Anyway, how do you feel about the actual cast?
Yo, R2D2, get over here and let's play some virtual chess.
God damn it.
I think it's pretty much what everybody was expecting, which was a group of kind of nobodies or characters that are from like really small movies,
surrounded by great actors.
Well, that could be debated. Carrie Fisher I don't know if she actually proved herself as a great actress.
Well, what I meant was like the returners, and then you have the great actors that have been in other really great movies.
Right.
Yeah.
But like super small movies.
Right. Yeah.
So they won't have a huge fan base. Like they didn't cast Zac Efron. They didn't cast.
Thank God.
They didn't cast. Well knowns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I think was smart because, you don't want somebody to it's probably really, really hard to find an actor to do that just because it might derail their entire career, which still surprises me that Ben is playing Batman.
Yeah, right.
Keeps calling him Ben instead of his last name, but so but you know what I mean, right? Like
yeah, totally.
So and J. Abrams is pretty good with that. So yeah, it's gonna be Star Trek, but in a different universe.
I don't know.
I think it'll be fine as long as it's not like episode 1 or 2.
And I don't think it will be like episode 1 or 2. But okay, so there was also something that was posted by one of our listeners onto our Facebook page when we made the announcement over there that we are going to be talking about this in the actual podcast. Yep. And it is an image that you can go check if you just see our post. But it is an image that has sort of labels about who's going to be who and what's going to be what and all that jazz written onto the actual cast image that was released. And if you start in a clockwise direction from J-Brams, you have R2.
Director.
You basically have R2 right next to him, and then after that, you have Han Solo, Daisy Ridley, and Leia, obviously. So you have Han, Leia, and then Daisy in the middle. And Daisy is thought to be possibly or maybe the daughter of Han and Leia, because she's in that position right next to him talking to him. Then you have Chewbacca, you have the producers and all that jazz. Then you have Gleason coming all the way around, and you have C-3PO, and you have Luke Skywalker. So the idea behind that is the fact that maybe Gleason is a good guy, or maybe that he's like comic relief because he's in between the Solos and the Lukes and C-3PO, so like the good guys and stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, it also says here that he probably will die. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Then you also have Isaac over there, who's kind of big. You have Andy Serkis and John Boyega in that corner, that little corner. You might have John Boyega as the hero or the anti-hero, which, I mean, it makes sense considering the types of characters that he's played before. You have Andy Serkis as the wild card, which is the exact same thing that I was thinking. When they said it was Andy Serkis, I thought, what?
He's Jar Jar Binks.
Oh no.
He's the new Jar Jar Binks. I mean, come on.
Well, except for the fact that he will be amazing. If Jar Jar was played by Andy Serkis, the movie would have won an Academy Award.
Yes, Misa thinks. That was a terrible. Yeah.
The Jedi's. He just he follows them from behind.
That was way better.
Like he follows them from behind and doesn't really let them know that he's going on. But you have that one scene where Liam Neeson turns over to Obi-Wan and he goes I think we're being followed. And he goes yes, Master, we're definitely being followed. And you just hear in the background
Misa thinks. Do that in the do that in the circus.
In the Gollum voice,
yeah.
he just goes Misa thinks that the Jedi's are heading for Naboo. Just crap like that.
Exactly. No, that's what I could see him playing a fully CGI character.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
He's
so good. He's so good.
The son of Jar Jar Binks.
He's so good at body type of acting. The guy has an amazing ability with his body. It's crazy. So anyway, all right, and then you got obviously Mr. Adam Oliver, who is quite possibly going to be Adam Driver, who will quite possibly be the bad guy, which was anticipated beforehand because look at the guy's face. And also, he's the guy from Girls that we talked about that was probably the crazy guy. But
I have a question.
Yeah.
Before we move on. So, Chewbacca's there. Is he going to be wearing the Chewbacca costume?
Yeah.
Okay. Would that be weird to have that right next to a fully CGI character?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I think it might be a little weird.
They did it in episode 3.
I know, it was a little weird.
No, it wasn't.
It was a little weird.
No, it wasn't. Not at all.
I thought it was a little weird. It's like putting a puppet next to a CGI puppet.
Yes, exactly.
It's kind of fucking weird. All right.
Yeah, but anyway, I am really, really excited by the cast, and it's so cool that they're doing a read like that, through the script. It makes it seem so real, just like when we saw that photo of Jurassic World, Jurassic World, and it brought you back to Jurassic Park,
Right.
That's exactly how I feel right now. Seeing those people around there and the fact that they're actually reading the script for a new Star Wars movie. It's just too much. I can't handle it.
You can't even.
I can't even right now. But yeah.
Put your Starbucks down and then come on. I don't know. It's I still have a lot of concerns, but it's cool that they finally nailed down, and it's cool that the Star Wars movie is actually on the roll. And I'm hoping that Disney makes it like High School Musical.
Oh my god. Sweet. No, I think it's cool that they have the stuff like you said, that it's a bunch of relative unknowns. That is so cool. It's exactly like the original Star Wars, and that is great.
Well, J. Abrams also likes that, in the Star Trek, there wasn't a ton of super well-knowns, you know what I mean?
Right.
At the time.
Right.
And then they all kind of became well-knowns.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's refreshing to see a movie that doesn't just reuse the same actors like freaking Julianne Moore that we couldn't escape this week by not going to see The Other Woman, and we ended up seeing her anyway in Don Jon.
I like Julianne Moore.
Oh, no, I know.
She used to be hot 20 years ago.
Oh, my God. Anyway.
I mean, she always plays the same freaking character.
So what you're saying is
every movie.
So what you're saying is she's a Cameron Diaz.
I mean,
always plays the same freaking character every movie.
Yeah, but you can say that a lot of characters, like
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, exactly. I saw Love Actually last night, and I'm like, oh, he's getting pissed off.
Right. Okay. Anyway, we are done with this week's podcast. So thank you all for tuning in. I'm Cool Guy. He's the Cognitive Gamer. You can follow me at The Right Pad on Twitter. You can follow him at Cognitive Gamer. You can also check us out on Facebook.com/PostGradENT, or you can type in PostGrad Entertainment onto the search bar and we pop right up. You can also check us out on YouTube, PostGrad Games. We also have the old episodes of the podcast where you have little links at the bottom that you can skip through to the important parts of the podcast that you want to listen to.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it is. No, really. And also, the Cognitive Gamer writes blogs, but he hasn't written a blog in a long time, so we won't care.
I'll write a blog after my final in like a week and a half. Oh my god.
Oh, your God. So anyway, we also have an email, which is postgradentertainment@gmail.com. Let us know ideas for Netflix movies, comments, and talk to us on the Facebook page. We love hearing from you guys, and we get a ton of ideas from you, and we bounce it off. So please, please, please.
Please check out our Facebook. I will be posting a picture of my butt crack later today. So please make sure you hit the like button on that.
Wow, are you really going to put a picture of your butt crack? Because like, if you were to do that, I would be like, I'm not even mad. I'm just kind of impressed. Like,
I probably won't, because you know how hard it is to get a selfie of your butt crack.
No, I don't. So anyway, thank you all, and we will see you next week.